Welcome back to the Strawberry Milk Pod.
This is episode 15. Woohoo!
Is that like a thing you do you like say the number of the episode? Do other people do that?
I don't know. I just like to say it. So we're 15 weeks in. Right now, if you're listening to this, we are in Japan.
Japania. Yes.
Japan. There will be no episode next week either.
Really?
We're going to do a bye week.
Okay. Now that
because we're at a wedding.
Now that the housekeeping is taken care of, today we will be spilling the tea. I have a lot of tea to spill today. So, Cindy, you better get your diaper on because you always are like, stop spilling the tea.
Oh, here we go.
So, I'm going to I have gone back and forth whether I should share the story because I always try to keep everything positive.
Uh-oh.
But we had a little situation when we were in Palm Springs.
Okay.
I'm going to tell the story. I don't care what you say. So
no, I think I don't like sharing negative experiences.
Here comes her disclaimer. She always has to do our PR.
No, I'm just saying I don't like sharing negative experiences because it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. However, the situation is kind of messed up and I think it would be
beneficial. It's a learning experience
to tell people this.
Yeah. So here we go. I always book the Airbnbs. Okay. So everywhere I go, like any trip we've ever gone on, it's always like you, me, beans, right?
Yeah.
It's always the sisters go on a lot of trips and we like to book with Airbnb sometimes. I have a profile on Airbnb. I have a 5-star rating and I have been using it for 6 years. Okay. All of my reviews are good. Every single stay says, we'd love to have you back. You're an amazing guest, 5 stars. And vice versa, I give my great reviews too. So on Airbnb, if you're not an Airbnb user, you can leave a review for your host, and then your host you only can see. So how do I explain this? Like you leave a review and the host will leave a review of you, but you only can see each other's review once both of them are posted. Okay?
Yeah, so they do that so that you don't sway any decision. So you both leave an honest review.
Exactly. So we went to Palm Springs for the entire month. We stayed at this beautiful house. We've stayed at different properties within this little gated community. Like a lot of times there's a bunch of them in Palm Springs. And I'm not even going to call out the property or call out the host because I'm not going to be petty. This was unbelievable. So we were there for 4 weeks. My mom was there. Grandma was there. Our aunt came. Like this was a very calm month. Aside from the last weekend when we went to Stagecoach, some of our friends were there. We were still recording the podcast. Like you guys saw it, like we post everything, right? You guys saw that we were there. Typical day in the life, like nothing crazy at all. This Airbnb, when we left, I left them a review saying the house was amazing. The one thing I will say is it's a little bit smaller.
No, let me say your review because I feel like you don't explain it well. Her review was, I absolutely loved my stay at this Airbnb. It was beautiful. Everyone was so helpful. The host was super responsive. One thing I might mention is the rooms are a little smaller than they appear in the pictures, but so next time I come, maybe I'd bring less people, but overall would definitely stay here again. Loved it. Like that was literally your review, like very positive. Just kind of like
I would stay here again.
Yeah, it said I will stay here again, totally. But it was like heads up, it is slightly smaller.
Totally. And I think they do this thing in Palm Springs where they build out these communities and they'll build like 40 houses that are all the same with a little bit of a different twist. And then like one developer owns them all and then Airbnbs them all. So I've stayed at like 4 of the different spots in this gated community. Of all 4 of them, like this was the smallest one. And it was just not what I was expecting. Especially like my aunt and my grandma were like really squished in their room. Now it was a great property, but when you're paying that price, especially during Stagecoach and Coachella, like you're paying the most expensive price of the whole entire year. I wish that a review had given me a heads up. Like, by the way, it's way smaller than it shows. The 3rd bedroom isn't even pictured and there's a reason. Like the bed was like cramped. I don't even know how they got the bed in the room. Okay. So I mentioned that in my review, but I did it in a very positive way.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like our stay was amazing. There was clear communication with the host, like just like a typical Airbnb stay. There was a time where there was no cleaning supplies in the house, so I had texted the host and I was like, hey, do you guys have a broom or a vacuum? Do you mind dropping it off? And they're like, yeah, sure, we'll drop it off for you. I said thank you. Or there was a day we went to Target, we bought like dishwasher detergent, paper towels, because like we are clean people. We like to have our space clean, and especially we weren't there just for a week, we were there for an entire month.
And even in the podcast episode, a couple weeks ago, I was saying how like I woke up one morning and like deep cleaned the whole house.
Yeah.
So we'd be like ready to leave. Yeah, no, it was weird.
I mean, even just from the perspective of being like a content creator, whatever you want to call this, we can't have like a gross ass space in the background. Like we were constantly like just making sure everything was clean. In general, we're clean. Look at all of our spaces in our life, okay? Anyway, so I leave this review. I think nothing of it. I'm like, okay, well, I'll wait for my review.
You got your review?
I'm excited for my review to come in. All of a sudden, it's like, ding, ding. I get my review. It's a 5-star review. So the host can review you on like cleanliness, like politeness, like wanting to have you back. Like there's like 6 different categories. I scored 5 stars in every category. And then he wrote, would love to have again, great guest. Okay. The hosts usually leave like 1-sentence reviews. So I was like, perfect. 5-star review. This is amazing. Within 30 minutes, I'm eating dinner. 30 minutes later, Sydney's sitting at the dinner table and I get a phone call and it's a California number. And like, I'm from Canada. So instantly I'm like, California. Like I had just gotten back. I'm like, this must be the Airbnb calling. I had lots of conversations with this host. So I was like, oh yeah, no problem. I'll like talk to him. So
this is so crazy.
I know. He gets on the phone and my jaw literally dropped when this man started talking to me. So he gets on the phone. He's like, hello, is this George? I'm like, yeah, hey. He said, hey, we're here. We're the host. I'm not going to call them out. And he says, the owner of the house has seen your review that you just posted. And it's in your best interest if you delete that review. Like right off the start of the phone call, it's like threatening. And I'm like, sorry, wait, this is the Airbnb like in Palm Springs? He's like, yes, yeah, we saw your review. The review saying that the space was smaller than it was. And I think it's in your best interest if you delete that.
He was like, the owner is very upset.
The owner is very upset with your review and they're really pushing us to get you to delete that. Right? So he's like the middleman.
Again, her review literally said, rooms are just a little smaller, so I wouldn't bring as many people, but like would definitely stay here again. Like it was a positive review, but I guess like they don't.
It'll deter people.
Yeah, I guess it will.
But I mean, I wish that I had read that review because I wouldn't have come.
This is what she said on the phone call. I could hear her, and she was like, "I'm so sorry, but like it just doesn't feel right for me to delete it. Like it was smaller than pictured, and like I want people to know that." Which is like, yeah, like it is like it's expensive.
Totally.
Like people. It's a fair thing to say, and it was very nicely said.
And I said that, and then his tone just got really stern with me. And so then I was like, hey, look, I'm not comfortable with deleting my review. Like I started off with being like, oh, well, I think it's kind of important for customers. Like we're having a discussion, and then it switches to like this kind of threatening tone. And I was like, oh, well, I like get all, like I can handle confrontation, honey. Okay, so I was like, oh, I'm not deleting the review. Like it's important that people know that. I'm really sorry that you feel this way. And then he's like, okay, at least we tried. I was like, sounds good. See you later. Bye.
Wait, then he also said that you can book through him direct next time.
Oh yeah, he did say that. Yeah. He was like, okay, then you can.
He literally was trying to get business from you.
He literally was. He's like, instead of booking with Airbnb, you should book with us next time. Okay. So, and I could even put that on blast too, but I'm not going to. So Sydney's like eating her dinner and I'm like turning the volume up and her jaw's just like, because any like drama
like,
situations,
delete it.
Sydney's like, oh my god.
And then she was like, no, Sid, it was fine. And I don't believe her. I'm like, there's no way. She probably like, it must be a mean review. And I went and like looked it up because I didn't believe her. And I was like, oh, this is actually very nice. Like,
and like I take pride in my Airbnb reviews. Like every time I get a 5-star review, I'm like, yep, add it to the list. Like I'm like the girl who has the 5-star Uber rating, and I'm like, yep. And like any of my friends are being disrespectful,
Uber,
I'm like,
get out.
This is my 5-star review Uber. Literally. So I was like, that is ridiculous. So we're kind of like having a little chuckle laugh. Me and Sid and my mom decide we're gonna go to HomeSense right after this phone call, right? So we head over to HomeSense. So it's been 40 minutes. We finished dinner, headed HomeSense. Ding ding ding. I have been accused of trashing the Airbnb, and I'm being charged $3,066 US dollars.
What is that in Canadian?
Like $5,000 Canadian. Okay, I think if my conversion's right, because the Canadian dollar's worth nothing because this country's falling apart. Okay. Anyways, you're not gonna cut that, okay? So I'm like, what the hell? I literally am holding like the little ottoman that we're buying that's in my desk right now, adorable, like this little baby blue one. My jaw drops and I'm like, Cindy, look at this, like what? And we're just
I get so anxious.
She's like
I shut down.
I'm literally had to take my jacket off. I'm getting
well,
so
you know
heated.
what? I shut down because I'm like, this isn't true. Like I have like it's like when a man gaslights you.
Yeah.
And you're like, what do you mean? Like, I know you were, like, I don't know. I felt so like, I was like, they're altering my reality.
Mm-hmm. Now, I had never had a weird experience like this before. Like, I'm just like a trusting person. Like, I wouldn't scam someone, so I didn't think someone would scam me. So I don't have like picture evidence of how the house looked when I arrived.
It's
right?
also like, I feel like it was like a cute, wholesome trip. Our grandma was there. Like, we also rented their house for a month. Yeah. 1 month. Like, that's, you don't think that like someone you give business to would like scam you either. Like, maybe if you're staying somewhere for one night and you're like, just so you know, like, I'm in and out.
Yeah.
But, like, we were literally there for a month, like, and paid a high price.
It was just unbelievable. So instantly I'm like, decline this, appeal it. I was like, show me what you're talking about, what damages. Like, I'm so confused what's going on. Is this a mistake? Like, send me the images.
And you like screenshot your review too that said perfectly clean and tidy,
that they later deleted. So all of a sudden these photos start flooding in, and I'm not like, it's just like annoying because this isn't even going to sound believable. That's how crazy it is. They literally staged photos and framed us for trashing this house. I'm talking like opened up garbage, threw it on the middle of the floor, snapped a picture.
In her bedroom, they like opened up a trash bag and dumped it on the ground, which is like also just like so
psychotic.
Like, that's not me. Like, ew. Like, I don't know that. Yeah.
It wasn't even like.
But even then, that's not $3,000.
No. Yeah. No. Let's get to that after. But like, it's not even like there was just garbage spread out everywhere. It's like they took a garbage bag. It's obviously a garbage bag because you have like a cup in it. You have like ripped up toilet paper. You have like all these different things that obviously came from the bathroom garbage where we put our garbage, and they've dumped it out and thrown it onto like scattered in the floor in like a little pile, and then taken a photo and been like, damages. Okay, that was the first photo. Second photo was every single bed sheet, every single towel, every single like napkin, anything that they could find
that needed to just go in the washing machine.
They threw it into like the most crazy pile. They like had it draping out of the washing machine. They had like a basket flipped over.
A mountain of like probably what they had to wash. Yeah. And they put it like in front of the door to leave the Airbnb. Yeah. Like if you wouldn't be able to open the door. So it's like, how did we exit?
Yeah. And so I put that in my appeal. I'm like, this photo is obviously staged because we couldn't have even left the building with that pile, like that also, atrocity.
It's a pile of laundry again, like not damage either.
Exactly.
And it's like they do have to clean the bed sheets.
Exactly. Then the third photo they posted was a photo of the stove. And the stove had like regular stove things on it. Like you cook some pasta, there's a pasta
There's
noodle
like a bit
on
of
it.
pasta sauce and
I'm
stuff.
not gonna lie, the stove was a little dirty, but it was as if someone had been living there for a month.
And to be clear, part of the charge is like cleaning services. So they would need to clean.
When you book an Airbnb, you pay like $1,000 for a cleaning service. It's always like the extra charge they add on. You're always like, oh, I thought this place was only $100 a night. It turns out it's like $1,000 cleaning charge. Like it's always like a really big charge. But I think that's fair. Like it takes them a full day to, I don't know. Like I always just like that's part of it.
Yeah.
I figured they might be able to clean the stove with that. You know, I didn't have a vacuum to suck up all the little things because it was like a gas stove.
Yeah, we had no cleaning product.
There was no damage.
But even
on
then,
the stove.
we still like everything was clean. Like I literally wiped down the whole house the day before.
It was the craziest thing. Now the last photo that they included was a photo of this chair.
Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
The dining room table. It had 6 chairs around it, and on the day we arrived, one of the chairs had like this kind of like stain. Like it looked as if it was just like a gross brown stain.
When I saw it, I thought someone sat in it out of the pool and it was wet.
Yeah,
I touched it and I was like, oh, this is dry.
So I thought it was Mom. So we see this stain, and I didn't think to myself, oh, let me quickly take a photo of this, like so that they know it's not me. Like I just thought that's a disgusting chair. I'm not going near it. I'll be staring clear of that chair. Like it's a house, people have stayed in it. It happens. Like I didn't think, oh, you're gonna be blamed for this later and charged $3,000. Like it was just so mind-boggling. I could not believe it. And so then I'm like, I'm appealing this. I'm like emailing the host. I'm emailing the owner. I was like, you guys, like, look at all these correspondences between us of me asking for a broom.
Oh,
like,
also we sent pictures because like obviously we have so much video and footage of
Totally,
everything.
because we like vlogged the entire thing. So I'm like sending photos of it. I'm sending videos. I'm sending proof. I'm showing everyone who's in the house. Like
I have like a picture of Sabrina sitting on like the dirty chair, and I'm like, look, like you can see the stain. This is when we arrived. Like,
yeah,
so ridiculous.
and they're like, well, we reserve the right to charge your card. Like blah 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 blah. Like in the end, I lost the appeal. Okay, and I take it as a learning lesson that
trust nobody.
No one. I will never book with Airbnb again because of that. I will work with Verbo. I will go about it a different way next time. So that's a really unfortunate thing. But take this as your learning lesson that when you're booking these Airbnbs, you need to like videotape the entire thing, photograph the entire house,
when
every
you
scratch.
arrive and when you leave.
When you arrive and when you leave. And you need to send it to them the day you arrive so that it's like dated, stamped, and be like, I'm not responsible for this like scratch. I'm not responsible for this piece of hair on the wall. They even blamed us for like smudges on the wall that was there when we got there. Like we were disappointed ourselves that the house wasn't in perfect condition.
We didn't think to take pictures.
No, we didn't. Like, you know, when you book an Airbnb and you can tell like some parties have gone down in it, and you're always like, oh, that sucks, they couldn't have like cleaned it a bit better, or like it's just that's what it was.
Always send pictures. It's so weird too, because like usually that's something I would do, but I just feel like I just felt comfortable. I was like, oh, like wholesome month in Palm Springs. I don't know.
We've never had a bad experience before with Airbnb, so I think that's why we trusted them. But it was horrible, and I called Airbnb every day for the last week. I've appealed it like 100 times. I've emailed. I've done every single thing you can. I put hours into appealing this, and while the support team is very helpful, they were not able to help me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They basically were like, you don't have proof that these photos were staged. You didn't take photos when you arrived, so we reserve the right to charge your card.
But even then the charge doesn't make sense though. Okay, so let's say we are filthy, disgusting, and put garbage on the floor.
Pick it up.
That makes me so upset that anyone would even think of me to do that. But that's not $3,000.
No, like pick up
if
the
anything,
garbage,
they might
clean
be like,
the stove. That should be $1. Like
they might be like, ma'am, like you left.
Like I'll fly back myself.
I know.
And clean
it would be cheaper to fly back and
cheaper.
clean the house ourselves.
Yeah, like I'm just
again.
But you know what goes around comes around. So good luck, Charlie.
This is why I didn't want to talk about it though.
Well, I'm not calling them out. I hope they see this podcast and shake in their boots. I hope you guys are watching. But I'm not going to call you guys out because I think that, I don't know, it's just bad karma for your small business anyways. So
just take pictures when you arrive. Even in my room, I'm surprised they didn't photo this. When in my room when I arrived, there was like this there was like this black paint or like something on the wall. I think there almost used to be an old piece of furniture there. And I was like, oh, what's that? Kind of ugly. And I'm like, I should have taken a picture, but they didn't even picture that.
Well, the other thing I was thinking is maybe the owner hadn't visited the property in a couple Airbnb stays, and so we were getting blamed for like the last 3 stays. Yeah. That could have been it too.
Or my other theory might be like maybe the cleaning ladies do this often around like festival season. Right. Because I'm sure a lot of people get those charges and they go, ha ha ha, yeah. So maybe it's something they get away with.
True.
And people don't care usually.
They must have get away with it because the proof was so, like, they didn't even put effort into this proof. Like, stage a better photo. Like, let's get a crayon and draw on the wall. Like, they didn't, like, that's not even, I can't even believe that Airbnb sided with them. Like, garbage on the floor. Are you serious? In, like, a neat pile that looks so obviously poured on the ground. I cannot believe it.
It was garbage in the most random spot, too. It was, like, it was, like, at the end of your bed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so embarrassing for you, though.
And yeah, okay. Let's talk about something else because my blood pressure is now rising.
Moving on to something a little more positive. Last night, Georgia and I went to the best hockey game ever. I don't think I'll go to another hockey game.
We need to decide if we're going, actually.
Okay, so we're trying to decide if we want to go to Friday's game or not. It's kind of going to be our last playoff game that we're even here. Mm-hmm. But the game last night was so good. Probably the best hockey game I've ever seen, live or not live. And I'm like, do we just leave it at that?
That's what I'm kind of thinking too. But Friday is such a good day to go for a hockey game.
And Friday's not a bad day to lose though, because it's Friday.
Well, when we were losing last game, like at the beginning, the first half, I was like pretty like bummed. It was kind of depressing. And I was like, oh, this really sucks that this is happening. Like, I don't want to put myself through that on Friday. Yeah. It's like too much.
But then it's kind of fun because you can go and then you hit the town.
I guess. I don't know. I'm stressed about that though.
Yeah, we need to decide. But the game last night was so fun. So many you know what I was thinking the whole time though? I actually thought they were gonna win. So I texted one of my friends and I was like, I've been seeing blue all day, like bet on blue, bet on blue. And he's like, you're delusional. Like, I'm watching this game right now. The blue team is getting their ass kicked. And he's like, and the Canucks are gonna lose tonight too. Canucks have a comeback. The other blue team had a comeback. He's like, I should have bet blue. You were right.
See, this is Cindy trying to convince me that she's a witch again.
I am a witch. But anyways, the whole time I was watching the hockey game and they were like 3 points behind, in my head I was like, wow, I can't wait to like watch these like next 4 goals. Like if this is a good game, we get to watch 4 more Canucks goals. Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking of the whole time, because it's so fun when they score and you get to like jump up.
It is.
I was like sweating from jumping up.
I was sweating too. I had a hoodie on and I was sweating. Everyone was asking where my Canucks hoodie was from. It was a vintage Canucks hoodie that Brad's friend brought. They were like, you can't come to the Canucks game and not wear merch.
Yeah.
And Sydney, so they brought me and Sydney hoodies. But that was like, we've been going to the hockey games all year. They're great. The energy in the stadium for the playoffs, and they give you like these white towels. I've always wanted to like fling them around. It was I almost started crying. You know when you're in a spin class and you like have the endorphins coming through you and you like almost start crying? That's how I felt last night.
I also feel like everyone was finally matching my energy that I've had all season, because I'm always on a 10. I'm always shouting. I got on the Jumbotron twice.
She did.
But yeah, it was so, I love it when people are like excited about things. It's like, yes, let's get into it.
Yeah. I had something else to say.
My friend sent me a Snapchat the other day. You know who you are. And him and his like roommates were watching our podcast on the TV.
They were?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully this episode's better.
I saw that and I was like, I'm so embarrassed. Hey guys. Mwah.
There's something else I wanted to talk about.
Okay, Georgia, there's something else you wanted to talk about. Last night I bought 250 tickets, like the numbers, and I thought it was gonna hit. Like I was like, guys, like
everyone does.
No, I really
well, it was for $800,000. That's the highest it's ever gone.
I know, we could have stayed at Airbnb and paid the scam charges with that.
Totally. So today we're going shopping. It's Mother's Day on Sunday, but as you guys know, we're going to Japan. So we're celebrating Mother's Day today. Mm-hmm. And Mom's coming to the office. We just want to show her like a couple little updates, and then we're gonna go for lunch and we're gonna go shopping. And
she's so excited.
She is so excited. She also wants to come on to the podcast.
Oh yeah, we need to bring her on the podcast.
Yes.
You guys, I'm so paranoid because last week when we were recording, I don't know if you noticed that this last week's episode was quite short, and it's because we like weren't recording for like 60 minutes of like what we were talking about, and it was so frustrating, but like we just didn't have time to like keep recording. So right now I have like a whole new system going on, so this should be perfect.
This should be perfect.
What were you going to talk about?
I can't remember.
She can't think of anything else because she had something she wanted to say.
Okay, whatever. So I said on a TikTok that I wanted, someone's like, do you need an assistant? I commented back, yes. I've gotten like 600 emails this morning from assistants. I do want an assistant, but she needs to be really, really experienced and educated and smart and cultured and worldly and know everything. So I'm going to be working through those, but
I feel like you're looking for like a genius assistant.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm looking for like a mini me. Not that I'm a genius, but so
like not like assistant, ha ha ha, like grab a coffee, like you want.
Like, can you solve the world's problems for me?
Yeah. Good luck to whoever that is. No thanks.
No thanks.
No thanks.
Yeah, so I need to pack my outfits for Tokyo.
You guys get ready for the Tokyo content. So we're not posting an episode next week because I'm not bringing the podcast stuff, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not posting an episode because we won't have time to film and post. Mm-hmm. And then but when we come back, you guys are going to get the whole rundown of the trip, which I'm really excited for. Yes. And I know that Georgia is going to be making TikToks the entire time.
I'm very excited. A lot of people, okay, completely off topic. Some of my friends last night, they're going to Calgary Stampede.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going really back and forth about wanting to go to Calgary Stampede. So yeah, we're thinking about going. Some of Brad and I's friends are going, and they're like, you guys should come with us. I just can't decide. I'm like it's like the prime time. The best time to be in Canada is July, August when it's sunny. So to give away a weekend in July, like I think I'd rather be on a boat, but everyone seems to be going.
It's really fun. I honestly I went last year and I had fun. I didn't like die. I wasn't like, oh, I might go this year. I want to go this year, but I also don't care if I don't make it out.
Okay, so you're not going?
No, I think I am. It's just kind of expensive, honestly, for what it is.
Oh, really? Oh, because flights.
Yeah.
I thought tickets are like $10.
Accommodations. It's not like no, it's not. It's just
it's cheaper than Stagecoach.
No, I know. I just know that it's just kind of a lot for what it is. Like that's why one of our friends isn't going because she was like, I'd rather go to Europe.
Who?
Like Julia.
Oh.
She was like,
Julia's not going?
No, she's like, I can go to Europe for the same.
She told me she's going.
Okay, I don't know, but she's like, I can go to Europe for the same price. I'm like, true.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be your vibe, but I think that you would have fun.
Okay, so I am literally so excited for the summer.
Me too.
I think this is going to be the best summer of my whole life. We have so much going on. Every year we go to Europe every single year. We're so lucky that we get to do that, but we usually go at the end of the season when it's very, very quiet because we don't like crowds. But this year we're going at the peak season. And I've never done Europe that time.
I have been telling Jordan that we need to go to the peak season for a while.
I'm so excited.
Because it's like, oh, it's busy. Yeah, I like busy. I like chaos. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait.
And we are releasing a lot of cover-ups and things.
Oh, yeah, we have cover-ups coming.
We're starting to expand a lot, and it's just really exciting, like all the things that we have coming. I hate when people are like, lots to come, like stay tuned. Wish I could show you what I was working on. But like that's literally how I feel right now. I'm just so excited about it all. So that's that. I'm turning 25 years old. And we're going to be in
Which
Europe.
I don't like. Like, I want to be 22.
I can't believe you're 25, Sid. I was like, I cannot believe you're 25. I actually cannot believe that. We're going to be in Europe on her 25th. And so we like to create little itineraries whenever we go on a trip of like themed nights for like the whole group to dress up as. So for example, like we're going for dinner one night and the theme is to wear florals. So like all the girls and guys all wear the same thing. It's just kind of a fun thing we like to do with our friends and family. But so for her birthday night, can we talk about your birthday night?
Yeah, we're gonna do James Bond
theme, like black tie, tuxedos, ball
martinis.
Gowns. I'm so excited for that. And
I'm kind of stressed about turning 25.
Really?
Wait, I'm like gonna cry. No, I'm not.
Oh my god, look at how much you've accomplished.
I want to be 22. I'm actually
I was kind of upset when I turned 25 too. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't actually care about age. Oh,
not Cindy crying.
Not my camera dying. What does it say? No, I'm not actually gonna cry. Okay, it's just weird because it's like quarter life, and
no, I remember
it's like freaking me out because you know what it is. I don't want to be 26. I do not want to be 26.
I remember that I felt that, but I actually have weirdly made peace with 26 all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Okay, do you know what? You turning 25 makes me feel at peace with being 26. Because like when you were 24, I was like, I'm this old woman.
I want to be 24.
But I don't know. I don't want to turn 30 yet. Like I need more time.
Our mom always says like if you're not aging, if you're not getting older, that means you're dead. So it's true.
I
so
can't wait to turn 30.
You do want to turn 30.
Yeah,
but it's just like really overwhelming. And I feel like there's this whole idea that like your entire life is amazing. Your 30s are amazing. Your 40s are amazing. But there's such an idea of like turning 30. Like everyone shut up about it.
Yeah.
Why does everyone even say that? Because I also hear that like your 30s are amazing, but everyone makes it like a negative thing almost.
Yeah, everyone does say your 30s are the best years of your life.
Your 30s. It's like, I don't know. But then it's so weird being 25 because now I feel like I'm really not a child anymore.
Totally. I've made peace with it. Like I honestly, I feel very young. And I also just think about like we have done so much at 25. I can't even imagine where we're going to be at 30. I can't even imagine it. So I just get excited about it. And like, I'm excited to have kids. I'm excited to like, oh my God, I saw this TikToker. I don't know who she is, but she has like this absolutely gorgeous house. It's looking like a Kardashian house, and she's selling it. And it's like the biggest, hugest estate. It's so gorgeous. And it's, guess how much it is?
$3 million.
800,000.
Where does she live?
Pennsylvania. And I was like, oh my God, should I
like,
move
let's
there?
move to Pennsylvania.
Let's move to Pennsylvania. The real estate is so cheap.
So in Vancouver, you can get like a shed on the side of the highway,
for
and it's like
million.
$10 million.
Yeah, so like to see something
it's
under,
like impossible.
You can't buy anything
like
for under $1 million
I don't know
here.
if I'll ever own a house.
Okay, so
did you think that you'd be married at 26?
no, I always knew that. Like, some people say that they're like, well, now I'm 20. I thought I'd be married at 26, and now I'm 26. I'm like, hell no. Like, I always know that I'm gonna probably have kids at 30, and I'm probably gonna get married in the next couple of years. Tomorrow.
Oh my God, I don't want you to get married.
Because like I want to have like 5 kids, so I have to start at like 30. It's funny though, because guys do not think about that type of thing. They're like, like any guys who are listening to this right now, you probably never thought about how old you are when you're gonna have kids. But us girls, like, this is what we plan and talk about. Like, we match it up with our friends. Like,
I'm gonna be so upset when Georgia gets like married and then moves in and like lives somewhere else. Like, we're just not gonna be as close.
I was thinking that too. Like, I think about
We won't
mom
be
and
as
her
close.
sisters, and I'm like, how come they don't hang out every day?
Because you have a new family.
I don't think that'll happen to us though. Like, you're gonna have a husband. I don't know. If you have a boyfriend, you might actually forget, but like, I don't really forget.
Oh wow.
But you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have kids and a husband, and I will.
You
but
get so busy.
won't we? Like, we're still gonna hang out. I think we'll hang out way more than mom and her sisters. Maybe we just don't get it because we're young still. But like, even working, like,
I think
are we
life
not gonna
gets
work
busy
together?
though. Like, I feel like as you get older, you have less time for your friends. So
But
then you
I
have less time.
choose that.
Yeah.
You know what? One thing about me is Sydney's always the super sentimental one, and she'll be like, let me give you a hug and say mushy things to you. And I'll always be like super cold and like relaxed, like, that, shut up. Okay. So that's kind of like our vibes. But whenever I think about us in the future with our families and not spending as much time together, like, I think I'll be the one who always makes an effort. Like, I think I'm really good at always putting family first. Like, it could be like the busiest day at work, something like our whole website is getting scammed and copied and mirrored, and we have all these emails to go through, which is literally happening. But if someone important to me calls me, like, I'll answer the phone and I'll like give them my undivided attention. And sometimes that's difficult to do, but I always make a conscious decision to be like, Georgia, this is more important. Like, if nothing matters if you didn't have your family and your loved ones. So I think so to answer your question, Cindy, like, I think that we will always spend loads of time together. Blueberry hates us though. She doesn't like to hang out with us. I'm joking, but I'm also not joking. Like, why is she still in Toronto? I don't get why she doesn't want to move home. She says she's going to move home in August, but we're going to have to hold her to that. Go comment on her page and be like, can't wait for you to move back in August, because I'm like, she says, Georgia, I'm moving back in August. Make sure we get some desks ordered for me. Like, she wants to have her, because me and Sydney have our desks beside each other. I was like, okay, perfect. I'll order it right now. She's like, oh, no. Don't order it yet. Let's wait until August. I'm like, so you're not coming home in August? Okay. Back on the topic of family. So this evening, it's Thursday. Usually on Thursday nights, we like to go for dinner with mom and dad. We have a little family dinner. And we have, okay, wait, this is such an interesting topic, Sid, because we have 2 brothers. You guys are like spamming my pages right now, being like, show us your brothers.
Because I keep talking about them.
Totally. But like, our brothers do not like being on camera, and they don't like being on social media. Like, they're older than us. They're in a different generation. Like, they're in that generation that was using Facebook and like never jumped onto Instagram.
My dad was the first original vlogger. So our entire life is on camera. Like, every birthday, every Christmas, every Easter, like everything. Like, you can watch my entire childhood. And
imagine if he uploaded it.
Every time he would pull the cameras out, my brother would be like, no, get it out of my face. Like, they've always hated cameras.
And I asked him, I'm like, can we make a little TikTok? Like, even last night at the game, I was like, I need to put you in my TikTok. He's like, no, stop. Like, he doesn't want to be on camera. So that's why you guys never see them. But on the topic of like having our own families, like, both of them, one of them's getting married next week, one of them is engaged. Like, we don't see them as much as we see each other, because they're like building their own life.
Yeah,
they
it's
have like
a whole other family.
They have
and
their
they're gonna have
fiance's
Christmas.
family as
they're
well.
gonna have Christmas together.
like that actually pisses me off whenever, because you have Christmas Day, Christmas night, and they'll always like spend Christmas Day or night, like one with us and one with their significant other's family. And I just get so mad about it. Like, you need to come to both, okay? We might have to just mix the whole entire families together, but I don't like being half and half.
No, I agree, because whoever I marry, like, we're gonna be at my house both nights, so you can.
That's how I feel too.
Like,
that's how I feel too. Like, actually, this year,
Brad buckle up.
went home. He went home to his family. Doesn't live here, so that actually makes sense for you to go home to it. But at the same time, I'm like, why don't they all just come?
If I don't see Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I'm gonna get really angry.
Right? I think we need to like make sure that we go to the.
So
house.
we just have to.
We
do
have
like
to
a
bring our
huge thing.
husbands
We
with
have to do a
us.
Kardashian style Christmas party.
Yeah.
Everyone's family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did a pretty big Christmas this year, but our mom gets really anxious, I think, like any mom does, with having a lot of people in her house,
because she wants to be like the perfect host.
Yeah, and she wants it to be like clean and blah blah. We're like, Mom, relax, no one cares. So she always like doesn't let us invite that many people, but we really like pushed the gears this year, and it really stressed her out. So I think we're just gonna have to buy a house and then host ourselves, and then she can come to our house.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
That's what we'll have to do.
We'll
move to Pennsylvania.
Something about us, like, this is definitely, we get it more from my dad, and like my mom just has to learn to love it. Like, we love to host.
I love
like
hosting.
I love a party. Like, the more the merrier. Like, open bar food. Like, come on. I think that's the Italian in us, though. It's like familia.
I love hosting.
Yeah.
Anytime it's like a like
that
I want
is
it to
literally
be on mine.
That is why we are on Earth in my mind. We are on this earth to like host parties and bring people together. Like, that's
Totally.
why you pay your bills so that you can go to the dinner party.
Totally.
That's the best part of life.
Yeah. Speaking of family, so we are going for family dinner tonight. Our favorite restaurant in this city, well, we have a couple.
And the waiter, but I'm not going to tell you guys the waiter's name because then everyone's going to ask for him.
Giardino's. I love Giardino's.
Oh my gosh. I get the Le Petit Pois pasta. It's like peas, prosciutto. Oh my gosh. No, Petit Pois, little peas.
Yeah, no, I know.
Pasta's so good. Spicy margs, amazing. Little bread. They bring the bread that's free that they bring you, great. The mini ice cream cones.
Do we want to bring Jad on for a second?
You like the carbonara? No, he's out of control.
Okay. He's dying. Come on. He's knocking on the window. So yeah, I always get the carbonara and then I get the beet appetizer.
Oh my gosh.
But I like Giardino's because there's not that many restaurants in Vancouver that are full. Like, you walk in and it's like buzzing.
It's always busy.
It's a scene. There's people there. And B, an atmosphere where you can like really dress up and other people are also dressed up with you and you don't feel dumb. Because in Vancouver, it's a very slobby city, right?
Yeah. It's like
not
LA.
like London, New York, right? It's like LA, exactly. So we put on our dresses, we wear our heels. Like, I love getting dolled up and going for dinner on Thursday nights.
Me too.
And
I honestly, like, if my future husband proposed to me in Giardino, I'd be like, great choice. I honestly wouldn't mind getting proposed to at that restaurant. That's the only restaurant, though. I do not want to get proposed to at a restaurant. Like, if you were going to propose to me at a restaurant, Giardino's.
How do you want to get proposed to? Do you ever think about that?
Simple. But like, not too like thoughtful, but simple. Like, our dad proposed to our mom at the top of the Eiffel Tower, just the two of them. So very simple. I would want like a secret photographer that like I don't even hear about till like a month later.
Yeah.
And just like very simple. I think it's kind of cute when people wake up and do it in bed.
No.
I think that can be cute, but like thoughtful but simple. So like I can tell they planned it out, but it's not like, I don't like when people do like a whole setup on the beach type thing, or like, I don't like anything like cheesy or like, oh yeah, he did that, you know, that style of proposal.
Totally.
Like
the whole entire story is just that he got it set up. Like, that's the whole story. Exactly. Like, that's not good. I agree. It needs to be something that you can talk about for the next 70 years and tell the story over and over and over again, and then it's like amazing. But whenever I see on TikTok people have like their entire friends and family like hiding in the bush, like, I think it should just be a moment between you and them. Like, that's
what I mean. Like, I'd want a secret photographer that like films it, and then like I won't even want to hear about that till later.
Totally.
So our dad proposed to our mom on top of the Eiffel Tower, and then our brother proposed to our sister-in-law in Hawaii. They did
like this beautiful volcano.
They
like,
hiked a
woke up
volcano
early morning.
at sunrise, and the sun was coming up, and then other people doing the hike took a picture from a distance, like this beautiful photo.
Pretty.
And it's like, it was such an intimate moment. I also don't, oh my God.
What?
I'm just thinking, like, when I'm actually in love, I don't think I'll even care how he proposes.
It gives me anxiety whenever I watch the videos of like all the friends that are like walking her
Or
and
the
she's like,
flash
oh my
mob.
God, it's happening. And then like I don't want that. It's just a moment between you and that person, I think.
Yeah, or even like get your nails done and put on. I don't want to do the thing when your friends are like, put on a nice dress, like
yeah, like don't
you're
ruin
going
it.
somewhere, and then it's like you go in like a car, and it's like, guess what's gonna? I don't want to do a whole song and dance. Like,
Totally.
knock it off.
So the story,
I would literally throw up from anxiety.
No, you would. For some reason, I picture myself at your engagement though. But okay, so
I think you might plan it.
the whole story of our mom and dad is so
you're
cute.
planning my engagement.
Am I?
Oh, for sure. Which you're not supposed to. Your husband is. But like, I could just see Georgia being like,
I love
and she's gonna
planning
like buy balloons or something.
So our mom and dad, they met at the Georgia Hotel in the bar. It used to be like a really fun and happening bar. And my name is Georgia now. I don't think that's the reason. But anyways, when my dad proposed to my mom, it was like within a year of meeting each other. Like they knew they were in love. It's like love at first sight. And they went to Paris. And I think at this point, my mom was like, okay, it must be coming like anytime now. That's the other thing. Like a lot of people are always like, oh, I was waiting for it. Like, is anyone ever surprised? Okay, anyways, that's off topic. So they're going to the Eiffel Tower and it's like very, very windy. If you've ever been to the Eiffel Tower, they close the third floor when it's too windy, right? So they're in the elevator and all of a sudden they're like, near third floor, top of the Eiffel Tower is closed because it's too windy. And so my dad, when he tells his story, he's like, well, this is weird. Is this a sign? Like I can't propose to her halfway up the Eiffel Tower. Like I'm about to tell this story for the rest of my life. I can't propose to her underneath. Like it needs to be the top floor, right? So he's like getting all nervous. He's like, okay, maybe I won't do this. They get out, they're on the second floor. They're like, wow, this is really beautiful. And they're like, okay, he decides like, I'm going to have to find a different time on this trip to propose to her because I can't do this half-ass, right? Kudos to him. I think that's an amazing decision. So then they get back in the elevator to go down. They're going to go for dinner. Ding, ding, ding. The third floor is now open. Do you know this story?
Yeah.
And so then my dad's like, wait a second, like emotional roller coaster. It's happening. It's happening. And so my dad's like, let's go to the top. And like my mom's like, oh, really? Like you still want to? He's like, yeah, let's go to the top. So they get up to the top. And then he proposes to her. And it was so romantic.
So cute.
And this was back when people didn't propose on the Eiffel Tower. Like I think everyone does that now, but this was like,
yeah, like
what,
I would,
30 years
that is
ago.
so cute for the time. Now I wouldn't want that.
Totally. Yeah, it's too much of like a tourist area. But that is like the most romantic story ever. That is so cute. And yeah, I just love telling that story.
Yeah, it is really cute. And I like how it wasn't super, like it was like thoughtful, but like not super planned out. Like he could have not done it. Like you don't want a whole like,
Totally.
I also think, I feel like proposals have changed a lot throughout the years and like expectations are different and like now the woman can propose to blah blah blah. I want my husband to get down on one knee, tell me all the reasons he wants to marry me, and then ask me.
Well, he will.
I don't like it when someone gets on one knee and goes, I love you, will you marry me? Like what? Tell me more. I need to know more. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah, but like
you're
not
gonna I want him to like list out all the reasons that he wants to. No, I'm serious. I've seen proposals before where they go down on a knee and they're like, will you marry me? I'm like, well, can you explain why?
Sydney, obviously your husband isn't going to be the type of guy that would do that, you know? Like your husband will be someone who would get down on one knee and say those reasons. No, but like you're not going to date one of those new wave, new generation vibes.
No, I just mean like, or oh my gosh, when people are like, bring someone on stage at a concert and everyone's watching, they're like, will you marry me?
Yeah,
I'm like, that's not intimate. And also like, again, why? Like I need the speech. Like you have to tell me about like how you want to, like how I'm going to be the mother of your kid.
Okay.
Gas me up and then put a ring on it.
Gas me up and put a ring on it.
Oh my God.
Oh goodness.
So Georgia and I keep talking about how we're going to plan our outfits for Japan. And Georgia told me a lie yesterday.
That I'm bringing one suitcase?
Georgia's like, I'm bringing one suitcase.
No,
like,
I'm
pretty sure we've had this conversation a few times. I'm determined to as well. But then all of a sudden I start packing and my shoes fill it up.
I know, I'm really determined. I do this new thing now. Well, I've only done it once. But you try on your outfits like from top to bottom. And then you take a picture of it. And then you only put what's in that photo into your suitcase. Like, you know, when you are like, oh, I'll throw in this extra shirt and this extra pants and this, like, you don't need those. You're not going to wear them.
I know. It makes a big difference though, because whenever I do throw in an extra shirt, I pull out the shirt. I'm like, okay, great. So what pant is that going with? Like, it never works. So it's actually smart to plan, but you have to be like on top of your
10 outfits.
Yeah.
And 10 dresses.
I need to do that too.
And then I'm going to just like fit it all into one suitcase for the first time in my life. And I'm going to have it's going to be full, and that's that. And I'm not going to like bring all this extra
But then I'm
crap.
bringing a duffel bag in my suitcase and I'm going to fill it.
I can't wait to shop till I drop.
Oh my gosh. Literally drop.
So it turns out that you can buy a ticket to the Met Gala for $70,000. And apparently Kim Kardashian buys her ticket every year.
Georgia and I are always talking about like
Are they
our
invited or
Kardashian
not?
tea.
Because I keep seeing all these TikToks, like conspiracies of the Kardashians, like they are canceled. Like, I love Kylie Jenner, first of all. Kylie, if you're listening to this, I love you.
She's like our age.
I know. How crazy
She's so
is that?
iconic. I love her.
People get so mad being like, she used to be in her King Kylie era and now she's like so unrelatable. But you know what? Nothing about her is relatable, and you can't relate to her. And
Yeah, she's never been relatable.
Is probably struggling relating to us as well, because she has accomplished so much as a 25-year-old. She has a kid. Like, nothing about her is relatable.
She's 2 kids.
And she doesn't try to be relatable either, you guys. But everyone always like hates on her for that. But it's difficult.
I know that. Yeah.
Like, she has it's just unbelievable. I love her. But I think she's doing a really good
But sometimes
job.
I get stressed. Like, imagine being at that point in life, like so young. Like, what? Like, she must struggle with like, what now?
I think it's more so
That's
struggling
a
with
lot to deal with
a circle of people, like, who really wants to be in her life for her, right?
I know.
Who really wants to be there and is not just there for Kylie Jenner. I think that's what all of
That's
those type of
hard.
people
And
struggle
I
with.
think, you know what's interesting about that too? It's even hard from like, if you're the person that, let's say you're the person using Kylie Jenner, I think it's hard to even look within and realize that that's why you want to be with her too. Like,
totally.
if you didn't, like, I'm sure she's a great person, but like, you know, I feel like sometimes people can get caught up in things like, oh no, I actually really like this person, but then it's like, wait, do you? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's hard for people to realize why they want to be around her too.
Well, I also think that it's awkward for people sometimes to, we're going at this at all angles, but for people to like know how to act around her. Okay, we're using Kylie Jenner as like one example, but I think this is really relatable in a lot of people's lives and relationships. It's like they don't know how to talk to Kylie because they are almost intimidated.
They can't relate.
They can't relate. They don't know like oh, how's your recent like photo shoot with Forbes magazine going, Kylie? And she's like, oh, you're like trying to fangirl.
Were
and
you
they're,
nervous
like,
for your Forbes interview?
Yeah, like it's awkward for everybody.
No, I always think about celebrities and how they can't go grocery shopping. Is that still a thing?
I think that they don't go grocery shopping because an assistant does it for them.
But like you
these
can't do the simple
celebrities-
things. Like if like Kourtney Kardashian goes to the movie theater, like someone's videoing her.
But she probably wants to go in her own movie theater anyways.
No.
Maybe, but also like Kourtney does live her life. Like she totally does. You see paparazzi
does.
pictures all the time of her just walking down the beach with her boyfriend. But I think that they aren't doing a lot of those basic things, because you have to remember too, these people are celebrities because they are working their ass off and they have no time. They aren't going grocery shopping.
Some work their ass off.
Well, who doesn't?
I don't know what happens behind the scenes.
Okay, well, I know Kylie Jenner's working her butt off, and I know like Hailey Bieber's working her butt off, and all of them are working hard. I don't know what my point was with that though.
I love the little Hailey Bieber
Oh
lip
my
gloss
God.
phone case.
I know what I was going to talk about.
Oh.
Okay.
Circle back to the beginning of the
circle back
episode
to the beginning.
where Georgia had a blank.
So I had a bunch of meetings this week with prospective agencies and managers, and I didn't tell you about it. So let me tell you about it. So
Our camera's getting too hot, so I left them plugged in and then they're like overheating.
So it was really weird though, guys, because I'm talking to this manager and I'm kind of like, okay, I'm going to tell you what my goals are, and then you can let me know if you can do any of them. And all of them had like very small visions for me.
Oh.
Like they were kind of like not really almost like believing that those things could happen, or that was going to be their job or what they could do. Like it was really weird.
Okay. Well, that doesn't work, because one thing about the way our family operates, or at least like you and me and Sabrina, I would say, is like we will just speak things into existence. Like my whole life I'll be like, I'm gonna do this, and my whole life people will be like, that's like not possible. Like, do you realize that like that would mean that you have to blah 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 blah? And I'm just like, I get really offended. I'm like, first of all, like let's just play pretend. But like you can do I just don't like it when people don't, like, they shit on your like manifestations almost.
They weren't shitting on it, but it's
I'm
like,
going to be the president. And then someone's like, well, that's not possible. It's like, why don't you just say, yeah, you are?
it's not that they were like shitting on it and like saying it wasn't possible. It was more so that I could just tell by their responses that they were like skimming over that and then talking about something else. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode.
If you don't already follow us on social media, go look at our TikToks, Coconut Milk Mob, Strawberry Milk Mob, Jordan Costello, Sydney Costello. We're in Japan right now. So I already know she's probably posted 300 TikToks of like her
check out my
trying
page.
different food. So go check that out. You can also follow us on social media, Strawberry Milk Pod. Please subscribe, like the podcast, comment, share it to your stories, tag us, we'll repost.
Remember, you can always watch the podcast on YouTube. That's where we
if you guys
upload
were listening the whole time, you could have been seeing our lovely facial expressions on YouTube. And there'll be no episode next week. It'll be our week off, but then we'll be back with all the Japan stories.
Okay, thanks guys.
Thank
Bye.
you. Love you. Miss you. Mean it. Bye.